Hey everyone! Today we're going to talk about one of the coolest parts of Chinese history, the Song Dynasty. This dynasty ruled China from 960 to 1279 CE, and was famous for its amazing achievements in economy and culture. But it's also a story full of challenges, political struggles, and in the end, a fall from power. The Song Dynasty's rule is split into two periods: the Northern Song and the Southern Song. During the Northern Song, the capital was in Kaifeng, and most of China was united. But things changed in the early 1100s when the northern territories were invaded by a group called the Jin. The Song rulers had to flee south and set up a new capital in Hangzhou, starting the Southern Song period. Even though they were wealthy and advanced, the Song couldn't hold off the Mongols, who took over in 1279 and started the Yuan dynasty. The Song dynasty started during a messy time in China's history. After the Tang dynasty fell, the country broke into smaller kingdoms. Then a warlord named Zhao Quangian stepped up and brought many of these kingdoms back together. In 960 CE, Zhao's army made him emperor, and he became known as Taizu, or Grand Progenitor. He was a smart leader who made sure no one in the military could get too powerful. To do this, he rotated army generals and gave more power to the civil service, the people who ran the government. This helped make the dynasty more stable. After Taizu, his younger brother Taizong became emperor. Together, their leadership brought calm to China after years of chaos. This peaceful start helped the Song dynasty become one of the most successful times in Chinese history. But not everything was smooth. For example, the Khitan Liao dynasty controlled important northern areas near the Great Wall, and their skilled fighters were a big threat. To avoid constant battles, the Song emperors decided to pay the Khitan rulers silver and silk every year. It was expensive, but it was cheaper than going to war all the time. They made a similar deal with another group, the Tangut Xia, in the northwest after losing a battle in 1044. These deals let the Song focus on running central China and managing their huge population of about 100 million people. Even though the tribute payments cost a lot, they weren't all bad. Trade between the Song and their neighbors grew, and a lot of the money paid as tribute came back to China through trade. It was a smart way to handle a tough situation. But inside the country, problems were building. A new way of thinking called Neo-Confucianism was becoming popular. It tried to bring back traditional Confucian ideas, but with a more logical and philosophical twist. Many thinkers also pushed back against Buddhism, which they saw as a foreign religion. These new ideas often caused arguments and power struggles in the emperor's court, leading to political instability. But the biggest issue was an old problem: the huge gap between rich and poor. Most people in the Song dynasty were farmers who worked too hard and paid too much in taxes, while the wealthy lived comfortably. One leader, Wang Anshi, tried to help by introducing something called the New Policies. These changes included replacing forced labor with taxes, giving low-interest loans to farmers, and reassessing land taxes to make them fairer. But his ideas faced strong resistance from local officials who didn't want things to change. Even though Wang tried hard, his reforms didn't go far enough, and the inequality stayed a big problem throughout the dynasty. And the Song dynasty had one of the strongest economies in history. Even though the emperors often struggled with political problems, the economy was thriving. During the Northern Song period, Kaifeng, the capital, became one of the largest and busiest cities in the world, with about 1 million people. The city grew wealthy thanks to nearby coal and iron mines and industries like printing, papermaking, textiles, and porcelain production. These goods were shipped far and wide, traveling along the Silk Road and across the Indian Ocean. China exported items such as tea, silk, rice, and copper, while importing horses, cotton cloth, ivory, gems, and spices from other regions. Farmers were also doing well. They began focusing on growing crops that sold for high prices, like sugar, tea, cotton, oranges, and silk. With so much extra food being produced, cities grew bigger, markets flourished, and trade increased. To keep up with demand, the Song built thousands of ships to move goods across canals and seas. Shipbuilding became a major industry, and businesses became more organized with systems like guilds, partnerships, and stock companies. Science and technology made huge strides during the Song era. People invented or improved tools and systems like paddle-wheel ships, gunpowder, the compass, paper money, and the movable type printing press. The production of iron and steel reached new heights, making it easier to create weapons and armor. These advancements not only made life better, but also helped China grow as a powerful nation. The arts also thrived. Writers and poets created beautiful works. One of the most famous poets, Su Dongpo, wrote about emotions like love and sadness that people still connect with today. Female poets like Li Qingzhao shared their experiences too, writing about their struggles and personal losses. Painters became famous for their realistic landscapes, such as Fan Quan's masterpiece, Traveling Among Streams and Mountains. There was a high demand for fine porcelain and decorative art, especially among the growing middle class. Some artworks were so valuable that people even made fake copies to sell. However, the Song dynasty faced serious challenges. By the 12th century, northern states like the Liao and Xia threatened their borders. The Jurchen, a group of tribes from the northeast, established the Jin state and allied with the Song to defeat the Liao. Unfortunately, after their victory, the Jin turned on the Song and invaded. In 1125, the Jin army captured Emperor Huizong and forced the Song government to flee south. The Southern Song period began when the court relocated to Hangzhou, a city in the Yangtze Valley. Despite losing land in the north, the Southern Song remained wealthy. Southern ports like Chuangzhou and Fuzhou became major centers of international trade. Merchants and immigrants from across Asia came to these cities, making them vibrant cultural hubs. The southern lands were very fertile, producing plenty of food which kept the economy strong. Hangzhou, the new capital, grew into a thriving city known for its beautiful gardens, canals, and silk production. The government also tried to support the poor by offering food and medical care in the capital. But the Mongols soon emerged as an even bigger threat. Led by Genghis Khan, they attacked northern territories like the Xia and Jin states, eventually setting their sights on the Song. Under the leadership of Kublai Khan, the Mongols began their invasion of southern China in 1268. The city of Xiangyang fell in 1273 after a long siege, and by 1275, the Mongols had crossed the Yangtze River. Song defenses collapsed, and many generals surrendered or joined the Mongols. The court, divided by internal arguments, couldn't put up a strong resistance. In 1276, the young Emperor Gongzong and his court were captured. Loyalists tried to fight back, crowning 2 more young emperors, but the resistance didn't last. In 1279, the Mongols defeated the remaining Song forces and established the Yuan dynasty. The Song dynasty, known for its wealth, innovation and culture, came to an end, overwhelmed by its internal weaknesses and the strength of the Mongol army.